you know, it's part of the process, but it's not a fun part of the process. Okay, as we're getting back after it, the first thing I'm going to address is this lower dog leg. It's got some issues from the rollover. We got some issues here that I haven't even explored yet because I need to get this top section cut out. You see I got a double line here. I made a little piece right here that I've put a flange on. This is probably thicker metal than what this was originally. But I'm going to slip it under. That's my plan on this one. We're gonna do a flange weld on it. A lot of the stuff I've run into is super thin, and it likes to blow away. And this is probably similar. But like I said, we're not doing full replacement on this stuff. We're trying to just patch it. My God, there's a lot of patches. But anyway, my double line is, this is where the size of my piece is. The internal line is where I'm going to cut. I'm going to try to save that drain hole. That's what I have that notch for. So it looks very factory. As you can see on this, I got a flange up on the back edge to tuck under here, flange on the front edge to go up here. So, first things first, let's get this cut out of here and see if the piece I spent so much time making even fits. All right, we got the bulk of that out of there. And what we exposed inside is, well, if I can get it to focus, well, you can see the hole. Anyway, that bumper mount is completely ripped out of the internal of this dog leg. Not to mention, it's obviously rust damage and whatnot. So I think we're going to have to address that a little further, which actually works to my benefit. It's hard to see in this. I have this pulled up a little bit right now, but this edge right here is low, right here. It dips down, and that's part of the damage right here. So if I end up cutting the bottom out like I'm thinking to get this bumper mount off, that we can reinstall later and make a new piece to fit under here, then I'll be able to get from the underside and hammer up on this and try to get it back in place. So that's kind of what I'm thinking right now. I definitely am going to have to cut this bumper mount off. We know that for sure. And that internal is way too compromised to put it back on. Again, we're not going for perfection here, folks, but we want it to be sturdy. So let me do a little more cutting. I'll get you back in here. Okay, so I got to looking at it, and then I got to thinking a little bit more. I knew that on the other side, a while back in a video, I'd shown you that we picked up some lower dog leg sections. I thought we just got on the driver's side. I went and looked at the pile, and guess what? I have a passenger side dog leg too. So, man, it makes me question if we should just put this up in here. It's going to repair the bumper mount. It's going to repair the floor. It's going to repair this right here. Look at that. That's rust through. You see my fingers? All right, so that will take care of all of that if we section in this piece. And we don't have to section it in all the way to the top. We can figure out where we want to section it in. And now, another thought on this while we're talking about it. This is a two-piece here. The idea for this truck is to keep the look of it. So I'm really thinking if this is not too compromised, that maybe we'll just straighten this out and leave the external and have the funky green metal up on the inside. Save this for another day on this truck or another vehicle. I don't know. This might really speed up this process though. Admittedly, this would speed up this process. But if we can keep that patina look on the outside, that's what he's going for. So I'm going to do a little cutting, get some of this internal stuff out of here, and see if we can get that piece fit up a little bit tighter. And then we'll make a decision on the outside piece. Preliminary findings, I think we made the right decision on cutting that inner out. And maybe we'll decide to cut the outer out. I don't know, but I was able to actually straighten it up a fair bit. This is not my final cut, but man, I gotta say, that's a lot better than what was there before. Still need to do some cleanup down here where the flanges are still on the A-pillar, and it's not going to fit quite right until I get it trimmed where I want it here and respectively here. But taking out that inner was a great idea. And honestly, right now, I think we can salvage this. I think a little hammer and dolly, and light hammer and dolly, even though this is white over original dove, over white over blue, or white over blue over dove blue. I don't know. The idea is patina, like I said. So I think a little hammering, little dollying, little straightening, I think we're going to be able to keep the external, replace the internal. All right, we got all that backside cleaned out. I was able to do some preliminary hammer and dolly work here on this jacked up lower dog leg, but I think I'm confident now after doing it a little bit that we're going to be able to bring it back good enough for the truck. I was also able to get this lip pulled up, which was an issue. It's still got a little dip, but we're a lot better off. And then I hammered a lot of this back flat, but we'll wait to get that perfect until we're putting the patch piece in. Anyway, the next thing I'm looking at here is that classic fab inner dog leg. Excuse my light. There we go. Okay, this is the line of how high it goes, and I'm not sure I want to go that high. I'm also considering again that I might flange this weld because it is rusty and thin, and welding upside down here could become problematic. Anyway, not sure I want to go this high. Definitely need to go higher because we have some rust through here. But if we go this high, I'll probably drop down 3/8 to 1/4 inch so I can flange the new panel up under it, spot weld and then seam welded. Anyway, that's where I'm at right now. It's fitting a lot better now that we got stuff hammered out and stuff cleaned up. So I'll bring you back for an update. Okay, so I'm doing a lot of, I don't know, touch-up, grinding, cutting, fitting, you know, that stuff. It's boring. I'm not going to film it for you. But I wanted to point out one thing that I am running into. Because this truck was damaged, I'm having a hard time finding line-up reference points for where to put this metal in at. And because I've taken so much out, it's just the way it had to be, I'm having to fit stuff. And then I realized real quickly, well, let me show you what I'm talking about. So I realized real quickly that this piece was going to have to be put in first because I'm flanging it under the dog leg. I tried having this piece on and fitting it in there and it just kept dropping and falling and I wasn't having any luck, even with magnets. So I did the best I could to try to line it up and I put some light tacks on it to hold it in place. But then when I put the back piece on, I have a pretty good gap back here and it's up against here. And then up here, I'll try to show you. It's hard to see it, but whoop, there we go. You can see the green is sticking in farther than the seal channel. It needs to go back that way. So I grabbed this little scribe right here and put some lines right here, my first witness marks, and I put an arrow. You might be able to see it, probably. There it is. Okay, to let me know that this end needs to come this way. Down here, another arrow. That end needs to go that way. So off the scribe marks, I now know which way I need to go. I'm going to do a little more checking before I wrap that up and take it all apart again because, you know, it's part of the process, but it's not a fun part of the process. Anyway, I just wanted to let you know what I'd run into, you know, educational purposes, in case you ever run into this yourself. Okay, I noticed something and I wanted to point it out to you also. Whether it's the age of the truck and the damage, or whether it's an aftermarket part, I don't know 100%. I'm not going to claim it, but you can see I'm not laying down here in this channel. And I have everything up at the height I want it. That just seems extra tight. So you can see right here where I have some Sharpie marked. I'm going to go in with a soft disc and clean up this flange. And if it sits in a little tighter, that's one of the things I want to do before I try to move this panel up in here that I was talking about, that I had tacked in, because that will let this bottom kick in and then maybe that'll close up that gap. Even if it doesn't close up the gap, it's going to give me a more accurate size of gap that I'm dealing with, so I know how much I need to slip in or out respectively. So I just wanted to point out, aftermarket panels, in case you didn't know, they don't always just fit right in place. Okay, that was proof positive that you definitely measure at least twice, cut once, at least twice. Maybe go with some more. Anyway, I ground that back edge down on that dog leg and it fits a lot better now. let me show you where we're at. Now we're fitting right here. I did have my very weak tack welds come loose in a couple of spots, but it's fitting now. Now, down here, still not fitting. We still got a gap. And now I'm actually happy with how this lines up. Pretty happy. Enough where I can push it in place when it comes time to weld it. And once that's tacked, we can lift this up into place. Okay? And that's going to close up the gap back behind here that you can't see right now. Like I was talking about, we ground the back edge of that dog leg. And now we're fitting in right here. See? A lot better fit. Let everything come in place. That's awesome. So, lined up there, here, here, here. My thoughts, although I'm going to have to take it all back apart, is I'm going to get it back to this place and tack some of the inner dog leg in, and then go after these tiny little tacks that I put on this and bust them loose, grind them down, and then put a clamp here and suck this piece into there. And that will allow this edge to stay where it's at. We'll probably put some more tacks right in this corner, so that's our pivot point. And bust this tack busted loose. That one's pretty weak. We'll get rid of this one, this one, this one, this one, and suck that piece out to the dog leg. I'm pretty pleased with it right now. The only other thing I could do is, once I get this lightly tacked in place, is get the fender tub out and put it on here and make sure that everything lines up like it's supposed to. And that's probably what I should do. Probably what I will do, okay? But boy, we're getting close. As much as this is like, feels like it's just tedious work, guys, that's what sheet metal work is sometimes. Take it on, put it off, put it on, take it off. On and off, on and off, on and off. Fit, grind, whatever. But you want a finished product that you're not going to be disappointed with. Your doors are going to close, all that stuff. This dog leg has actually come a long way today, and we're not done yet. All right, like I said, the way to test it's put the tub in, and I put the tub in, and everything lines up where I have it clamped. Good here. Everything looks nice. You can see, maybe, right here, the tub hangs over a little farther than the dog leg. Again, we're dealing with a damaged dog leg. What I think I'm going to do is, because I'm happy with everything, is get the inner dog leg welded in, get my patch welded in, get the tub welded in to here. I'll go ahead and do it fully in there. But what I'm thinking is, because this dog leg is damaged, maybe it's shoved in a little bit. So when I go to set the floor in, it will decide here, or maybe even putting the door on will decide that. And what I might need to do is put a porta-power between the frame and the dog leg and shove it out, and that would get this to line up a little bit better. The door is probably the better way to do that. As I'm talking, I'm thinking, because the door, this outside skin, we want it all to line up. So if I can get the dog leg put on, get our door hung, then I could sit here and go, oh yeah, that dog leg is not where it's supposed to be because the door hangs out here. Or if they line up, maybe this panel will just need to be ground back. Let's check with the floor. Again, fit it, take it out, fit it, take it out. It's getting repetitive, but like I said, that's part of this. So, I just wanted to show you the tub is in. Pretty pleased with it. I know my next step. I almost forgot. I got this gap closed up. Awesome, right? Except my panel sunk here when I broke tacks loose. But if we take off the inner dog leg, I can push it back up, get some good hard tacks on it so it won't go anywhere, then put the back on, get everything lined up again. But all in all, I think our fitting is done. It's going to take some cleanup, punching some holes for spot welds. I'm going to still do a few more things, make sure this is ready to go so that next time I put it together, might be the last time I put it together. Okay, got that inner dog leg off so we can lift up the patch panel piece, got it tacked in place. There's a floor jack and a 4x4 that came in quite handy, lifting this underneath while I tacked it in place. Anyway, as you can see, I've started to run some tacks on it, get it filled in here. We're going to get this piece set. I'm happy with it. I'm going to get it in there solid. And then we'll clean up that thing, check it for fit a little bit more, start getting it tacked in place. In between that phase, or maybe with it just tacked in place, I think I'm going to go ahead and fit the door like I talked about. Make sure that we got everything exactly where we want it. Now would be the time to find out, not later. Anyway, back to work. Okay, I got a lot of welding done on this patch so far, but I wanted to again stop for a minute and show you something. The flange that I did on this, boy, am I grateful I did that. It made this a lot easier to weld in with this thin original metal. Having that flange underneath there did me a lot of good. I made this piece before I ever did any hammer and dolly work out here. That being the case, once I started fixing stuff, my flange was way off. I don't mean way off. It was off. You can see this valley next to my weld. It's not my poor welding. You can see grind here, and you can see grind here, and you can see a line between it. That is what's left of the flange that's sticking out too far. In this situation, you could sure put filler in there if you wanted to. I am going to weld it closed. This piece is thick enough. I'm going to sit here and fill this and weld it till I can get it smooth. I came in here and started knocking it down to make the valley more visible. I'm going to do a little more grinding, but I'm going to fill that in. I've got some holes to address here in the A-pillar. Again, thin metal that obviously has been hot before. I don't know if somebody was trying to... I don't know. That might have just been taking the door off, but something has flamed up around here. Anyway, not me, but I'm going to patch that hole up, get in there and grind it, clean and everything. But I wanted to show you this great valley here that I'm going to fill in with some wire. Well, I've got us back just about where we were. Got that valley mostly welded in. I think anything that's left is probably going to be filler, if in fact we even go that far with this patina truck. Anyway, nice and solid. I got the inner tacked back in. Like I was saying, we're going to fit this door. And hey, speaking of that door, golly, I don't know if that's going to be much help with making sure our dog leg is in place. Woo! I don't know. Let's get it up on there and see. Well, there it is, folks. That door is sitting on there. I don't have any bolts in it yet. A couple of things to address besides that is this is an inset ice pick door. On the driver's side, we have a flush ice pick door. I believe flush ice pick is correct for this model year. Not just gauging by the fact that I think that door is original to the truck, and I know for a fact that this one is not. I really think in 1961, no, I'm sorry. Yeah, 61. I think 62 is when this door started. Let me know in the comments if you agree or disagree with me on that one. But this door is not original. This truck has been damaged in an accident. This door is rotten. But all that being the case, let's come inside. Can you see down there? Okay. Right here specifically, you see there's a gap between the door and the edge of the dog leg. And that gap does not exist back here. And if we go down super low down there by that crusty door, I wonder if that's going to be too close. Well, anyway, that looks even consistent. Come on. Consistent. You know? But right up here in the middle, or around the hook in the dog leg in the dog leg, it seems like this dog leg needs to go out a little bit. So we might ought to address that. Anyway, door is on there in all of its glory. I think we're gonna have to try to take care of that dent, but taking care of that dent might create more rust issues. Also, hey, inside, this is the area I was talking about, right at the dog leg. You see how we are pretty good. Whoop. All of a sudden you get a shadow there. See a gap. So this right here, I think, is what needs to come out. And boy, I don't even know what to think about that down there, because that door is boogered. Well, even here, I can feel it here. So it might be from like here down to here. But I think this is kind of right. So maybe we can push in the middle of this area, get it to come out some. what was I saying earlier about put it on, take it off, put it on, take it off? Here we are again. Got the fender tub back in, clamped up, lined up, everything. We are still coming up a little bit shy right here. But again, we're mixing classic fab. This is from Wolfsburg West. I don't know if it's Autocraft or theirs. I don't know. Looks like Autocraft to me. Anyway, lining up pretty decently, but down here where we've got this section that we know is a little bit wasn't lining up. So I don't know if you guys know this, but I'm a bit of a carpenter also. Anyway, I'm kidding. I put this piece of wood here and used a little leverage and pulled that dog leg out and then put that clamp on it right there. And what I'm thinking about doing is putting some tack welds between these two that would be easily removed all along this edge so I can take those clamps off all along the edge. I'm talking about maybe 3 to 5 strategically placed. Mostly down here where I have an under pressure. The rest of them can just come off. Anyway, I'm thinking about doing that and then trying to fit that door again and seeing if this dog leg being out this far makes everything line up. Since I'm unable with the door on to be able to do that because I'm a one-man show, like I said, I can get the porta power out if need be. But until I know that I need to, I don't know that I want to put hydraulic pressure on it. Anyway, like I said, bzzzt, bzzzt, bzzzt. That ought to hold that. Take these clamps off. Door can slide back on and give me an idea if I'm lining up a little better, even though that door is crusty, scary. Anyway, update, there you are. I'm going to proceed. Man, believe it or not, that worked. I'm talking about some tiny little tacks that are barely holding on, I'm sure. And I got one down here. Anyway, it's enough to hold this in place, and the dog leg is still pulled out. When I let my clamp go, it didn't fly back in. So we're going to put the door back on and see how that fits. It looks better, don't get me wrong, but I'm going to need to look at one of these other buses and look at how that gap looks right there, because, oh man, damaged door on a damaged truck. Again, we're not going for perfection, but at the same time, when you're putting in major panels like this, you don't necessarily want to put them in incorrectly. What if somebody someday decides to do a better job on this, and this metal that's good is now put in crooked? Anyway, I'm going to look at another bus, do some comparison. We'll see. Okay, well, as a lot of you are probably aware, I've got a few split window buses sitting in here to look at. And as I slid open their windows and peeked in with the doors closed, this edge follows right along that door edge. So this dog leg is still not quite in place. But what I'm looking at here is a seam that's pretty close to in place. So I definitely think we have some issues with that jacked up door. My objective is going to be that with this seat stand in place, I'm going to take these welds back off. We're going to go ahead and get the porta power out. And I'm going to push strategically in places to get this dog leg out to match this seam edge. And that's as good as I can do. I might find a spare door if I have a loose one that's the correct era and not as crusty, and slip it on here and see if maybe it lines up better. If that's the case, we'll know that the door is the problem on that and it's not any of the work I've done here. Not really that I'm questioning it's the work that I've done here. This, like I said, I keep saying it, this truck has been rolled over and that door is not original and crusty. The panels, if I can get them to line up, they're going to be right. I just want it to be as right as possible. So I'm going to go ahead, like I said, knock these few tacks loose that I have and porta power that back out. I'll let you know how it goes. So, a little cold out here today. I went ahead and dug out another door, an early door, a complete door, window frame and all. Out of my stash back there. Brought it over here. It was a bit of a struggle. I had no idea what I was in for. let me show you what I'm looking at now. Early flat ice pick door. Cool atomic logo on there. Anyway, can't get this door to fit in the door opening. Like, oh, that's tight. Oh, that's not so tight. What's going on here? And yeah, it doesn't want to fit in anywhere. I've been fitting that blue door right there that came with this truck to this truck, not came with the truck. It has no window frame on it. When you decide to put a window frame on, door don't fit no more. So we're gonna have other problems down the road. Since I can't get the door jammed in, I can't even tell you if it's the door's the problem. Now, I can tell you that even though the door doesn't fit, there's a more consistent gap between the seat pedestal and the door. So that other door probably is wrinkled a little bit, but it's not telling me what I want to know. You know, it's not telling me, is that door strictly the problem? Obviously, this truck is the problem because the window frame won't fit in when it's attached to the door. Truck's been rolled. Truck's been rolled. Always remember the truck's been rolled. We're gonna have some things to address in the future. Right now, I'm gonna see if I can find a door that doesn't have a window frame on it, so I can slide it in there and go, okay, all right, this fits. Got my gap consistent, and we're gonna worry about that Bondo infested roof channel up top in the future, I guess. Maybe we can go custom and run no window frames, right? All right, here we are, door number 3. Door number 1, door number 2, or door number 3. Which one has the prize behind it? Door number 3 here is off of my personal project single cab over there. It again is a later inset ice pick, which is correct for that one because it's a 62. That doesn't matter to me right now. It had no glass on top, no window frame, and I consider it to be a pretty straight door because it fits on that truck decently. Okay, so what we find now with this door in place is that gap looks really pretty good. I mean, I'm okay with it. Honestly, yeah, I like it. So we have a straight door, and the dog leg is pressed out with the porta power still. On the outside, we're a little proud here, a little proud there, but that's below any structure. That could be hammered back in. A little proud there. But again, this truck has been rolled, guys. Did I mention that? Also, yeah, I know there's no hinge on there. I'm just trying to line it up. Now you can see down in this corner, there's a little bit of a bigger gap as you get closer to the hinge, to the pillar. What do you think? When this thing was rolled, did the A pillar get crushed in a little bit? Maybe, maybe. So should we push the A pillar out? I don't know. Maybe. We're not doing full restoration here. We're just trying to put a truck together. So I feel like we finally have a door, not just because it fits and lines up. Am I saying this? I feel like we finally have a door that is going to tell us the truth here. And the truth it's telling me is this might be a decent place to consider leaving the dog leg. I'm probably going to use the porta power and press past this so that when it relaxes, it sits in a little bit. But this is a great place to start, I think. I'm going to take this door back off and pretend like I never put that door or that door on it. And we'll worry about that at a later day. Like I said, that window frame, guys, this is straight Bondo. You can see the cracks. And it's just thick and nasty. Look, I mean, there's even a corner. There's a hole in the corner. Like they just... We might be chiseling some of that crap out. It was not on the agenda, but you know what? This thing was here for a front floor. None of this other stuff was supposed to be going on. And it keeps escalating, guys. My goodness. I had somebody tell me years ago, when you do your first like metalwork restoration on a bus, you're either going to love it and find another project, or you're never going to do it again. This truck is turning out to be the project that's going to make you never want to do it again. Anyway, we're in it. Can't stop now. So, yeah. Let's, like I said, press the dog leg beyond what I have it. Let it relax to where it should be. And then I guess we'll finish putting that dog leg in and worry about Bondoville, USA on a later date. We're back to door number 1. I have the pedestal tacked in where I had it earlier with door number 3 on there. And as you can see, this looks a lot better. Even for this crummy, crappy, rusty door, that lines up a lot better. I'm not going to pretend like I don't know why it's lining up better. You know, I want to be the one to tell you. There's video footage, and I don't want you finding out from anybody but me. I can't deny it. I got caught on video. Shame. Shame. Roll that beautiful bean footage. Yeah, that was me, guys, in case you didn't recognize the plaid and filth. The door's already kind of junky, so I laid it on the ground and stood on it a little bit, and now it fits a lot better. So was it the wrong thing to do? No. Even look in here. Look at that gap. Still not perfect, but a lot better. Okay? So no more shame. Anyway, door off. I want to show you something else I came across. I don't know if you can see this or not, but there is a ripple right here. It runs up to about here. Really hard to show you on camera. I was asking earlier, do you think this A-pillar got pushed in when, you know, it got rolled? Did I mention it got rolled? Yeah, it got rolled. That to me is proof that whether it was a rollover or whether it was some sort of other accident, the nose of this pillar right here is shoved in. So I might try to get the porta-power, go from somewhere to here. This is super crusty, so I'm not 100% excited about pushing on it with a porta-power. But at the same time, maybe I could go to here. Maybe I haven't welded that yet. Maybe I could push it out here. I don't know. That would just close up this gap issue we were having issue with if it got pushed out that way. Might help a door fit better in the future too. I'm going to try that. I'm not going to spend a ton of time on it, but I am going to try it. Just for the hopes of a little bit better outcome on this side. Like I said, we're going to have future issues with Bondo Valley up there, but I think it's safe to say now that we've got the pedestal in a pretty good position. And you know what? It lines up down here like it's supposed to. I think we're doing pretty good. So if I can get this pillar, I'm even looking at it now, and you can tell it's kicked in at the bottom. You might not be able to on video, but it's right at the bottom, kicked over. And that ripple over there is proof of it. So I'm going to see if I can get that out just a little bit, maybe none at all, who knows. And then we're going to do a little more welding, because this day's getting away from me with stuff I did not expect to be happening. Guys, I'm not here to brag. I'm just glad to finally get lucky on something today. Look at that gap. It's a lot better. Is it perfect? No. But it's a lot better. Down there, right at the bottom of the dog leg. It's decently consistent. I pushed out on the A-pillar with the porta-power right here, like I was talking. It's pretty weak, and it did cripple a little bit as a result of me pushing. You can even see. But I pushed it past it, let it relax, and what you saw on this door gap was what was right there. Now I'm going to have to do some work here because this doesn't line up anymore. But I feel like a broken record. This truck is not headed to Pebble Beach when I'm done with it. It's headed to my buddy's property to be a farm truck. At least that was the plan. Coming on a year ago when we were going to put floors in it. I keep repeating myself about that, but it's just wearing on me, guys. This was in here for so little work, and it's become so much work. And we're making it as good as we can. And the fact is, what we have now is pretty great for what it is. I'm gonna have to do a little bit of hammering, but we can start putting spot welds in and get that inner dog leg done. I think I'm gonna pull, I don't know what I'm gonna do. Anyway, progress continues. Well, I'm gonna go ahead and stop there for now. Definitely not as far as I wanted to get today, but we ran into some issues. We conquered a lot of those issues though, and that's progress. Whether it was what we wanted to accomplish or not, we knocked stuff out. Oh, and speaking of knocking stuff out, that's right. I asked, I knew the answer, and I was told the answer, but e-brake lever is out. It's the right thing to do. I'm gonna have to heat up that pin in the middle and beat it out of there, get a new pin, but it's the right thing to do. I knew it all along. So thanks for being here, everybody. Like I said, we made some progress. We hit some roadblocks. I got filthy, apparently. Anyway, that's where we are. I appreciate you being here. I appreciate you coming back and checking things out. Hopefully I'm keeping your interest here on this single cab build. I feel like we're on the cusp of like getting over the hill, getting over the hump, and all of a sudden stuff's going to start going in. That being said, we still have a dog leg to deal with on the driver's side. We're getting this passenger side stuff done first. Maybe learning on the way. Who knows? We know now we've got some issues with this door to deal with, but I think we got the dog leg squared away. We can get that fender tub put in, and we're getting there. We're getting there. Again, rambling as I often do. Thank you for being here. Thanks for the new subscribers. Guys, comment down below and like this video. It really helps me out. I appreciate you being here, but YouTube likes it when you comment and like. Hey, subscribe while you're at it. It's easy enough. Doesn't cost you a thing. Anyway, look out for videos coming up soon. We're going to continue on this thing. I missed a week because of Thanksgiving. Hope you all had a great holiday. We went to Georgia, and I'll tell you what, I don't know that I would want to drive air-cooled Volkswagens in the Atlanta area. It might get me out of the hobby. That was some crazy traffic. But I'm back here in Oklahoma, back to the slow life, and life's good, guys. Come back, check on the progress, and until next time.